This is JDB Moto back with you guys. Today I'm going to be performing a very simple maintenance routine on a 2008 Yamaha FJR. I'm going to be changing the engine and final drive oil. This is literally something that anyone with little to no mechanical skills is able to do. It's very basic maintenance. All you're going to need is going to be your engine oil. You're going to require to have your final drive oil. You're going to need to have 3 crushers and a 17mm socket. Other than that, this is something that anyone can do. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm just going to touch real briefly regarding what oil I like to use. It literally comes down to preference. I know many people have their own brands that they have been loyal to many years. They swear by it. For me personally, have been using the Rotella T6 1540. It's a fully synthetic oil. It works great. I feel like my bike still shifts nice and smooth after 3,000–4,000 miles. I've used the T5 in the past, and I found that after 2,000 to 3,000 miles, my shifting was not as smooth as it was with the T6, so I just went ahead and stuck with the T6. As far as final drive oil, I like to use the Model 1 synthetic 7590. Again, it comes down to preference. I feel like my final drive has been working great. I haven't had a single issue with my motorcycle. I've been using this not just on this bike but on other bikes before, so I'm just going to stick to that. As far as which type of oil filter, I know many people like to use the Yamaha one simply for the reason that they like that it's nice and black. I have been using now the K&N 148 oil filter with no issues, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick to that. I've used K&N in the past with other motorcycles. I know people say you shouldn't use K&N, or maybe you should, or this is a reason why you shouldn't. To me, it comes down to, again, preference. I've been using K&N now for a number of years with my other motorcycles, so it's been working for me, so I'm just sticking to it. Okay guys, now we're ready to actually change the oil on our engine. One thing that I like to do before I change my oil is just go ahead and unscrew this one screw over here. That's a Allen key. It's a 532, and the reason I like to do that is because once we remove our oil filter, you're gonna get the dripping. So I like to use a piece of aluminum foil that I put over this area here, and it literally has the oil dripping into our oil catch can. Other than that, one more thing that you should do is always remove your oil filler. That allows the oil to flow a lot easier and faster. Okay guys, so I am unscrewing the bolt over here. Now let's go ahead and remove our oil drain plug. I like to use an extension just because it gives me more leverage since it's so close to the ground. Once I actually have it where I have enough, it's loose enough, I just go ahead and just do it by hand. And like always, you definitely want to make sure that you warm your engine up. So here it is, it's nice and loose. What I'm gonna do is now, I'm going to remove it, and I never put it right under my actual opening where the oil goes, because it's happened before where my actual bolt has gone in, and then it's kind of a pain in the rear end to drain and then get the bolt out. So let's go ahead and have this oil drain now. Once I do, I just like to put it right over it, and you're gonna see that the oil literally just flows right in. While we wait for the oil just to completely drain out, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the oil filter. I'm gonna go ahead and just take it out. And this is why I use the aluminum foil, and I'm gonna show you right now. There's some screws here that you definitely don't want. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you let the oil drain here, but it just, to me, just makes it messy. So I like to use aluminum foil. Literally all it does is just has the oil drip directly into the oil catch can, and as you can see, the oil is already draining. So to me, it just makes less of a mess, that's all. So not required for the job, obviously. So we're just gonna go ahead and let the oil just continue to drain, and we're almost done with this part. It's been about 10 minutes now. I'm gonna go ahead and just put my oil drain plug back, and I'm gonna go ahead and then start cleaning, and then so we can go ahead and pour the oil here. As far as torquing it down, I never really do it by the Yamaha specifications. I've been changing my oil on my motorcycles and cars for a number of years, so I just go by feel. I'll go ahead and I'll just put the specifications below that way, just in case you want to go by the book and have a torque wrench. So as we can see, my oil filter drain is almost done here. What I'm gonna do is just gonna go ahead and just give it a wipe down. And what I'm gonna do with my oil is I'm gonna go ahead and lube the rubber seal. That way it makes a nice seal once we have the oil back in. I mean the oil filter back in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just real quick here, just lube it up. What I'm gonna do now is just give it a good wipe down. That way it's as dry as possible once I am ready to put it back in. And we won't have any oil dripping down later. So as you can see, it's nice and clean. There's no oil on my plastics here or anything. So that's the reason why I do it. Not because you have to or because it's recommended, but I just like the way it keeps my plastics and everything under there nice and clean. So what I'm gonna do now is just give it a good snug. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull my oil collection can out of the way and just give it a nice adjustment. And that should be it for that part. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna just go ahead and funnel the oil back into the engine and you're good to go. All right guys, so once you have tightened everything up, make sure to put back your Allen bolt back in. It's happened to me before where I take it out and then I forget to put it back in. So make sure you put it back in, as you definitely don't want your fairing to be bouncing off the road once you're on your way. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just pour the oil now. My motorcycle has never used more than one of these gallon jugs. Some people report that they have to use the 1 gallon jug and perhaps maybe a quarter of a quart of another one. It's never happened to me. I literally have always used just one jug, run it for a little bit, see where the oil is in the side glass, and I'm usually right in the middle. If you buy this oil at Walmart, it's around $22 versus buying it at one of the auto parts where they charge you $30. So the best thing to do, just go to Walmart. They usually have it for like $22.95 or $22.99, and you save yourself $7 more as well there. I'm gonna go ahead and take it in a little bit for a spin, but I just wanna make sure that I don't have any oil dripping from either my oil filter down here or my drain plug. So. Guys, we're good to go. Okay guys, now we're gonna go ahead and get ready to change the final drive oil. I went ahead and moved the oil collector from the engine area to the final drive area. Using the same 17mm socket, we're gonna go ahead and remove the, we're gonna first remove the filler, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove the actual drain bolt. So here it is. So it's already loose. In this case, since I have so much grime, road grime, I'm gonna just go ahead and before I remove my bolt all the way, I'm just gonna give it a wipe down. I don't wanna go ahead and get any of that into my final drive and have it get my gears in there all dirty. So now that we have it wiped down, I'm gonna go ahead and just remove. And I'm gonna go ahead and now remove my actual plug to drain the oil. So now you're gonna see that the same piece of aluminum foil that we use for the engine works over here just as well. And we have the oil now draining. Again, you see there's no messes to worry about. We're just gonna leave this oil drain for a little bit now. The amount of oil is not as much as you will have in the engine, so this is gonna be a fairly quick job here. So I'm a little bit anal when it comes to my bolts and having them all nice and tidy. So as you see, here we have a washer. This one over here has a washer as well. What I'm gonna do is I'll remove it and I'll go ahead and I'll add a new one. Just real quick here, so this is the previous washer. I'm not sure if you're able to see, there's really no width to it. Here's the new washer. This is why you want to go ahead and change it. I change them around every other oil change, and as you can see, this one has it's nice and thicker compared to this one that it's already like all pancaked together. We're gonna go ahead and put obviously the one that drains first, so we don't have the oil draining out as we're trying to fill it. Again, guys, I'm not really going to be using specific torque here. I'll put the specifications below as we're doing this. That way you guys see the specific numbers just in case you want to do it with a torque wrench or whatnot. Typically, you want to go ahead and fill this in until the bottom of the fill hole, and that's how you know you have enough. All right, so once you do a couple of pumps in there, I always like to just go back and look just to make sure that we are where we should be. Another thing that really helps is removing your side case. That gives you more light and more visibility to the area. I don't know if you're able to see, however, we have the oil exactly where we want it to be, to the bottom of the fill hole. Other than that, this oil change is done. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and just take this motorcycle for a quick spin around the neighborhood, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go on a quick spin around the neighborhood. I just wanna stress how important it is for you to always wear your gear, even if you're going around the neighborhood. The last thing you want to do is just go for a quick ride, and more like a 30-second ride around the neighborhood to make sure that everything is good to go and for you to fall down the road. So make sure you wear your gloves, helmet, your jacket, your boots, and wear your pants, guys. Trust me, you will not regret it. Hey guys, so we're back. So what I'm gonna do now is I just went ahead and put the motorcycle on the center stand, and what I'm gonna do now is make sure that I don't have any oil leaks and to ensure that my oil is right in the middle of the side glass. If those three items are checked, then we're good to go. So let's go ahead and take a quick look here. So we have the motorcycle on the center stand. I'm just looking for any oil leaks. As you can see, we don't have any oil leaking from the oil filter. Let's see. We don't have any oil leaking from our engine drain bolt. And we're gonna take one more look, and as you can see here, the oil is literally right in the middle of the side glass. One more thing, let's go ahead and just take a quick look at our final drive oil bolt. So as we can see, no oil coming from here, no oil leaking from there. So guys, we have a successful oil change. So we just finished our engine and final drive oil changes. As you can see guys, that's something that literally anybody can do. You can do it. Just go ahead and just get the oil and just do it. It's not really that difficult. Guys, I have a couple of things that I've bought for the FJR that I'm getting ready to put on. I'll show you guys on a later video. If you guys like the content, just give it a thumbs up and subscribe.